What's up, everybody? This is Brad, and I wanted to point this out, and I'm pretty sure everyone has noticed this by now, but it's a very interesting story that's coming up in Fortnite right now, and it has to do with not only the end of Chapter 4, but Fortnitemares for this year, too. And it's very interesting that the main villain of this, or the final villain of this chapter, is going to be a vampire. Now, if you'll remember, I've made a video in the past where I complained about how Fortnite will introduce interesting concepts and characters and then just do absolutely nothing with them. And I specifically said that I liked the concept of the high stakes club. This and while it was kind of weird when they dropped the first of these characters, Joni the Red, at the end, the very, very end of Chapter 3, right before the big ending with the Chrome and the last reality coming to destroy the island, now we have a vampire villain. And we also have this other vampire character, Countess Daraku, I think that's how you say her name, who is apparently this musical artist that the High Stakes Club all love, but they don't know she's a vampire too. So remember, the big thing with the High Stakes Club is that their set is called Let's Hunt. If I'm not mistaken, the set name complete is. Let me start over and reword that. God, I'm tired. Hoof. Anyway, the complete set, I believe, is called Let's Hunt Vampires. All of the skins for the High Stakes Club are under that category. So they're a group of 3 teenage vampire hunters, and it sounds pretty much like your tip. This sounds like an anime plot, you know? It sounds like an anime story. And it's so weird because I feel like, after Fortnite worked with Marvel and DC to have official crossover comics release, having Fortnite characters interact with these, with Spider-Man and Wolverine and Batman and, I think the Foundation even took part for just a moment in a big fight between the Justice League and the Legion of Doom. Very, very brief. But the thing is, like, I've complained that I wish they would do more with some of these characters. Like, they have so many great skins, and then they put some, and then they, like the High Stakes Club, they had lore to them. They're vampire hunters. Okay, why did we get this right before Christmas? Why did Joni the Red not release as the crew skin leading up to Fortnitemares? That would have been a great and more appropriate time to release that skin. Well, it looks like they were setting this vampire thing up because I feel like there's no way the High Stakes Club isn't tied to this villain, to Kaido Thorn. Especially because, the Countess here has a Japanese name. I feel like this guy's Kado. I've heard people say his name is Kato Thorn, but I'm gonna say Kado because he looks like he's wearing more Japanese garb. Instead, his outfit gives me Japanese vibes. So I feel like him and this other vampire, the anime aesthetic, that the High Stakes Club have, like, these characters all have to be connected. They're all part of the same story. So I'm actually quite happy if that is the case. Now the other thing about Fortnite characters is that there's no real distinction when Fortnite does something. Like, if Fortnite references an old skin, a new skin, whatever the case, some old event or something that happened in the game forever ago, there's no real distinction from Fortnite as to whether something is a teaser for something in the future, if it's just an Easter egg, or if it's just a complete red herring meant to throw you off it so that you're not expecting the real, main story. We've seen some of these things happen before. Remember the whole thing with the paradigm was supposedly singularity? And that we knew that, I believe they said singularity had many different names. And they even went so far as to make Singularity and the Paradigm's outfits almost identical as far as the overall shape of their outfit. Only to, uh-oh, turns out, no, they weren't the same character after all. Paradigm is actually a character that looks suspiciously like Brie Larson. Imagine how that works out. So, like, they played it off as a misdirection. I think that that was always the case, that they were gonna do that, and then they just changed it. They're like, hey, we can get this celebrity to come in and play this character, so why not? We'll just rewrite this. We'll disregard this part of the story. We could just shove this off to the side anyway, the way that they roll these storylines out, and we'll address it in the future. If we address it in the future. So, will Singularity ever return? Who knows? I mean, the Seven were like such a big focus of Fortnite for so long. And then at the end of chapter 4, season 1, we find out that they've been corrupted after they disappeared during the previous chapter. Where's Agent Jones? He's been gone this whole chapter. So a whole lot of iconic and major characters from this game have been absent this season. The first one we got to see return back was Dr. Sloan, and she really didn't do much in season 3. I was really disappointed by that. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here a little bit because I wanted to focus on this because I think there's too much of a coincidence. Apparently, there are survey skins out that show new versions of the High Stakes Club. There's a new Joni variant, a new Lucian variant, and a new Hilsey variant out there. So we'll probably see those when Fortnitemares actually begins. But, we're still a good bit away from that. It's going to be a short season, but Fortnitemares doesn't start until, halfway through October. So it's going to be interesting to see how they build up to this big confrontation. Because, when they do these, when it was the Cube Queen, Fortnitemares that year was the arrival of the Cube Queen on the island, along with the caretakers, and that was a pretty unique season. The Cube Queen for the rest of that season was hovering over the center of the map, and you could hear her laugh every so often. It was real ominous, and I actually liked that. I hated that she just didn't do anything. I didn't like that she kind of just sat there, but at the same time, it was really ominous to, while you're sitting there trying to play, if you happen to get, close to the middle of the map, you can see her there, and she's up to no good. She's planning to destroy everything, but you can't stop her. Her force field prevents any attacks from penetrating, so that was always something interesting to me. And again, I guess to a point she was kind of doing something. She was forming that space in the middle of the map to get ready to launch her attack. So she kind of was doing something, but she kind of wasn't. Like, I wish that maybe, if she was up there, if you got too close, she'd attack you. Maybe it would be a guarantee, like if you get too close, if you step too close, if you step on the cube, what was it called, the convergence, if you're there for longer than a certain amount of time, she just insta kills you. So I think that could have been interesting. But anyway, I don't want to talk for too much longer. Kato Thorn is a boss on the map already. You can already go fight him in his human form, or his humanoid form, or human-esque form, whatever you want to call it. And interestingly enough, he is not in the, it is not the version of him that appears in the Season 4 trailer. It's the initial version of him. You have to unlock, what is it called, Lavish Kato Thorn or something like that? I don't know. But the white hair version of him. So that's a weird decision to have him look one way in the trailer and then have him look a different way in game. I don't know. But they've already found files in the game for Fortnitemares, and where I guess if you get too close to him during Fortnitemares, he will transform into his bat form that you see there with the metamorphosis ability, and he'll be a even more deadly boss to face. So a vampire boss for Fortnitemares, I like it. I thought last year's Fortnitemares wasn't that great. The Inquisitor didn't really do a whole lot for me. Like, going down there and summoning the Inquisitor with that horrible screech was interesting and kind of cool, but like I don't know, there was something missing. I still miss and think that like the ghosts, Midas's revenge from chapter 2 season 4, where Shadow Midas first appeared. That was a really fun. I know apparently was not a very popular event. I disagree with that. I will take the unpopular opinion here, and I really liked that. I liked how much different it made the game. If you die, usually you killed in Fortnite, that's it. Go to the next round. Well, not this time. Not with this particular Fortnitemares. You become a ghost, and once you're a ghost, you're on Team Ghost, and it's you versus all the living players. So while the living players are still fighting each other for the victory royale, the ghosts are all, haunting the living players as one, cohesive unit. So that made the game a lot more, chaotic, but it was really fun. I missed that. So I don't know. It's going to be kind of hard to top that one, and I still think that the Cube Queen's arrival was done pretty well. But anyway, this will be my fourth Fortnitemares as a Fortnite player. I did not see the earlier ones. I think there were still 2 before then. So yeah, this is some exciting stuff. I like that they may be finally doing what I hope, and we'll go back and revisit some of these characters and these skins that they've released and give them some actual purpose. Like, every skin has its fans. Like, let them be more than just skins. Like, reach out to an anime studio and have them produce a short OVA series for the High Stakes Club where they hunt vampires. Like, I think people would eat that up. I think that the anime fans, the anime nerds, would love a Fortnite anime if it's done by like a reputable anime studio, and if the animation looks good, if the storyline is decent enough, like maybe explain how these three show them before they arrived on the island. What were they like in their own realities? Maybe we can get a tease of this Daraku character. And Kato Thorn. Maybe we see them kill a few people who know this greater group of vampires. Maybe they're part of an organization of vampires that have all these different ideas, and Kato could be like, well, I'm going to develop a time machine. I'm going to travel back into the past and find all of these rare relics and weapons, and I'll hoard them all for myself, and I will become the most powerful being in the universe. Like, that would be, give us all this backstory. Like, how did he create the time machine? Who are some of these associates of his? What were their goals? Why are we going to see any more vampires join this season? I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I hope that other people will find it interesting too. And I hope that they keep doing this kind of stuff, because like right now, the focus of the story is not Sloane. It kind of is. She seems to be completely like, they're trying to figure out what this eclipse is. And my guess is that the eclipse that's being foretold, that we've been told about is going to happen, is going to be Fortnitemares. The blood moon's going to come. My guess is, I hope that the map will be covered in a red glow for those 2 weeks or however long they decide to run Fortnitemares this year. And there's just going to be a lot of red. The big red blood moon, the eclipse will come. The vampires will become demons, and we'll have to stop them. And that's the way the season will end, with this horrible, island-destroying eclipse. But it's interesting that this is the focus now, and the first thing we see Kato Thorn has done is it's not the first thing he's done, but it's the first visual we see of him is he's stolen Oro's head. Oro is tied to Midas. We know Midas is still alive, but other than the fact that Midas is alive, and even though they've been teasing him now for 2 years, he's still not here. So I don't know what the point of verifying Midas was alive was to do, other than just to do it. But like, there's so much lore, there's so many characters, and hopefully, like an anime, hopefully not like an anime usually does, when a cast of characters becomes so massive that it's hard to keep track of the story, characters get lost in the shuffle, characters get forgotten about. So hopefully that won't happen here, and everybody can see their favorite characters do cool stuff for a little while and be the focus for a little while. Anyway, phone went off there. But anyway, hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about this. I talked about it a little bit longer than I thought I would. Let me know what you think about this year's Fortnitemares, the High Stakes Club, and this Kato Thorn time-traveling vampire. Appreciate you for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, and we will see you for Fortnitemares. But until then, bye-bye.